So guys, what I've been seeing is that there's been this Google algorithm leak we all know about, right? We've all been digging into the documents. You look up Google algorithm leak and there's just, all this information. iPullRank is probably the best deep dive into the 14,000 um, ranking factors that were leaked. So basically, someone uploaded the entire repository of Google's algorithm to an open repository instead of to a private one. And it sat there for weeks before Google pulled it. And now they're kind of in damage control. So they have come out and they have confirmed that the leaked documents are real. And Algoroo is a company that since 2018 has been tracking the volatility in Google. So basically they look at page one of Google or page one and two of Google, and they see how much does it move, over a certain period of time. And we can see some of the early core algorithm updates back in 2017 and things like that that were causing little fluctuations. And then as time has progressed in 23, it begins to get more volatile. So they've measured this for a long
Can you
time.
show the graph? Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. All right, yeah. So here's the graph, guys. So since
Thank you.
2018, thank you, Nathan. Since 2018, they've been tracking this, and you can begin to see the volatility increase over time as Google becomes more sophisticated. What is very, very fascinating is if we zoom in right now, these peaks right here are not an announced core algorithm update. All this right here is Google said, hey, we're updating the system. It's a new system. Expect volatility. Google has been silent on the changes they're making. They've not announced anything, but yet the volatility we currently are seeing in Google is greater than the history. I'm going to zoom back out. These red lines are greater volatility than the history in the past 5 years of Google. So this means that if you're working on something, you're looking at your maps and you're saying, hey, why is my maps moving? Why is my site moving? You have to realize that we are in an unannounced core algorithm update. And basically, best we can figure is that Google is trying to close the gaps, the spam gaps open from their search document leak. And so they're trying to make sure spammers aren't getting in and wreaking havoc with their algorithm. They just revealed way too much information in this leak, and all their weak areas are open now for exploitation. So they're trying to close those gaps. One of the really big outcomes we've been seeing of this is in the search heat maps. So here is a client in Albuquerque here, and we've already talked about this with them. This is their where they started back in May 30th, where we started tracking, and then we started tracking right before these leaks happened and it all started coming out. And we can see that their average has dropped from 5.56 down to 7.19. Their core is still fine. They're still ranking really great in their type radius, but more of this red hops out around the edge. And over and over again, we're seeing that where you were maybe ranking 3-pack everywhere, and then that core is shrunk to the very middle. And basically what it seems to be is that we're having to kind of re-earn some of Google's trust with these locations and just reproving to Google, hey, we are relevant. We do belong out in these other areas. Inside the company, we're going top to bottom on every client, checking that name, address, and phone number, which seems to be the signals Google's really looking at, and making sure that that is super consistent everywhere. So we're doing that, and we're seeing great recoveries already. Stuff starting to climb back up as Google crawls that. Like with any SEO, there's some changes. There's some. Anytime you make a change, Google has to crawl it, so there's some delays in those results. But we already know what needs to be done to bring this back. We're already implementing it. Just to let people know, if you are looking at it and you're saying, man, seems like the last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy. It has. It's tracked. It's known. Google's kind of gone off the rails starting around June 7th.